back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 39 of the Glory Days podcast, where we are attempting to watch an entire season of Perth Glory without falling off the face of the earth. And ladies and gentlemen, we've made not so great progress towards that end goal today with, yesterday with a 4-0 loss to Melbourne City, and I think it's fair to say we all saw it coming. We've got a lot to get to in today's episode, a lot of sort of drama and stuff like that, as always, surrounding this club. And if my voice sounds weird, it's because, fittingly, I am sick today, as I'm sure we're all sick and tired of this bullshit. Yep. But let's get into the fan comments today, because we've gone across multiple platforms now, ladies and gents. We've got an Instagram account that we're now collecting fan comments on as well, which means double the amount of despair.
Well, you go with Instagram first.
All right, because we've got a few on here.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Thank you to everyone who has commented on both Twitter and Instagram. But we'll start with Aussie James. He needs to go in a very long go.
I wonder who he's referring to then.
I don't know, actually. Maybe the picture
Sack
of David
everyone.
Zdrilic, yeah.
Sack everyone, that's
Chris Edwards, shout out to you, my friend. I've seen more organisation and passion from under 5 football. Whatever his plan is, it's not working.
And he was there at the game as well.
He was.
So, says it all.
And then the last comment we got on Instagram from All Things Perth Glory. Shout out to you, my friend, making great content, which I did respond to and say we need more of it.
We need more.
But he's just doing uni exams right now, apparently. So
fuck your exams.
good luck to you, my friend. Yeah. I can't wait for the international break and the inevitable corner flag post announcing Zdrilic's sacking. Honestly, that's quite hopeful.
I hope it comes before then.
Isn't it a good thing that our studio has a curtain, because the curtain may have just closed on David Zdrilic?
Well.
How poetic.
To sound poetic.
We definitely set this up intentionally. This definitely wasn't the result of them unknowingly changing the background without telling us before we recorded.
We are adherent to the provider of the studio. Okay, on Twitter we had a lot of comments, which was to be expected. So we'll start with Daniel Fieldgate. He said, "I've had enough. David Zdrilic needs to be sacked now." His post-game interview said it all. He's completely lost and has no idea what he's doing. Our club has become a joke and it's killing me. I'm genuinely falling out of love with Perth Glory and I'm not sure if it's salvageable.
I just wanted to shout out quickly in the wise words of Brenton Ray, who, by the way, listens to our podcast and messaged me about it last week. Thank you, Brenton.
Same with me.
I have simply had a fuck enough.
Wise words.
Mate,
Wise words.
I've had enough since last season.
We've all had enough. Nick, get Zdrilic out. And Stan has to go with him. Both seasons, it's clear the players we brought in don't align with the tactics. 10 centimetres, yet barely any wingers and wing backs. Squad selection terrible too. You'd assume these things would have been discussed, right?
No.
Tottenham Dan. Don't know why I'm responding to his comment, but anyway, here we are. Perth are 6 minutes in, trying to play out from the back, and there is no movement on the ball. Actually embarrassing. Actually a fair comment, that. Muller, give it kill it until the end of the season. Average. I have seen nothing that tells me that we're moving forward. I've heard what the commentator tells me, that Zdrilic did something at halftime saying, "Wake up, Jeff," as in Purple Glory Jeff. I mean, what the actual hell kind of coaching is that?
Can I just mention as well, right?
That's class.
I was watching the first half of that game.
Yep.
And they had someone doing a sideline report.
Jake Barkadash from Suited and Booted.
They had the sideline report and the coaches. And he's talking about he's talking about how, Vidmar's firing up the players, shouting instructions, tactics, all this stuff. And then the commentator asked him, "Oh, did you hear any word from David Zdrilic on that high line for the first goal?" And he said, No mention of it from Zdrilic. He's just telling the boys to wake up."
Brilliant.
I'm like, well, that's just great.
That's just wonderful, isn't it?
Come on, boys, we've got to wake up here.
To be honest, I was just too busy paying attention to the Wiggles.
Yeah, I think it was a fair point. I think the Wiggles could have been blasted. Yeah, so and we had a comment from Twitter user AliG040803. I don't know who he is. He said, "Bye-bye's the donkey." Paul Gallagher. We are going to get beat every game. We look so weak. I want a sacking, and I want it now.
Bang.
Stompy. We all knew this was the way it was going to go. There is no way to justify keeping Zdrilic another week. Could write paragraphs about what's wrong, but it isn't worth the energy anymore. Daniel Del Barello. Ross only said days ago he wants to build a Perth Glory the community can be proud of, a family club, yet my 6-year-old who loves the game now says it's okay if we don't go again this season because, quote, Glory are bad and we'll lose. Kids at 6 can already see the cracks too. Ewan Gray. How bad must Zdrilic be that we've signed the league's best centre-back and he's turned into Lewis Kanga after 2 games? Lachlan had a few thoughts. He said, I thought because we versed a high line against Wellington, that was the only reason we were playing over the top for the whole first half. All we tried was going over the top. If the ball was bouncing and we had space, we wouldn't take a touch. We tried lobbing it over first time. Poor. I'm at the point where I'd be happy for the club to fold. I'm seeing the same shit from last season all over again. So why is Zdrilic still at the club? Bloke's proven to not have what it takes at every opportunity he's had. Players aren't offering anything either. Purple Man 94, that was grim. Jordan, I didn't know it was possible, but we looked more ugly than Rocky Dennis. I'm not even sure free tickets will help bring people to games if this is how we're going to play. Jay, the Zdrilic experiment has to end. Poor preseason results and now a poor start to the season. Basil Lenzo, go and get Ange Postecoglou. Seriously, think big glory or else you will need deeper pockets for the financial loss you will be in.
It's
again.
true.
Jamal Lowe, we have a worse backline than last season. Rodney Ding, sack Zadonk. Ethan, Dave got his coaching badges from Micronesia. So, I think...
And then Cocoa Pop check.
Sorry, I missed out on Anthony's comment. He said,
here we go.
sack everyone, I reckon. The trainer is lackluster as well. I heard the social team has been underperforming as well. The accounting staff not following essential accounting theory. The janitors should be removed. I don't think this is an overreaction.
Do you want to address that Anthony comment given that?
Maybe just potentially.
So I woke up this morning. I can't remember what time I got this message, but Anthony sent me a message just saying, just commented this on your post. Reckon this will get you guys loads of views. I will clarify that he was extremely drunk at this time, I believe, and I don't think he meant anything he said. However, it could be right. I don't know. Do you know the janitors?
Well, there's a lot of shit all over the floor and all over the fan.
You're right.
The shit has hit the fan, so I think
Well,
they're
I
going to
think
be
it's
pretty
safe
busy
to
this
say
week.
no one really likes Dave.
Yeah.
I will say as well. I had a mate who messaged me yesterday saying that he was at a pub watching watching the Glory game yesterday with one of his mates.
Yeah.
And he actually physically threw up watching the game. I don't know if that was because of the copious amounts of alcohol he drank that day.
Probably
or
the Guinness.
It's got to be the Glory.
I think it is the Glory, to be honest.
Call those janitors real quick.
I think 5 minutes of Glory is more detrimental to your health than 5 pints of Guinness, to be honest.
I'd agree.
So, comment of the day there from Anthony. I've never heard anyone attack the janitors before. That's a whole new realm of hatred.
So they're copying.
The
all sorts of
cheerleaders
shit.
are not doing good enough to inspire the team.
James is, as we speak, refreshing Glory News to see if there's an announcement.
No. I was getting.
By the way,
getting
for the people at
stats out,
home,
so.
for the people at home, if you've never seen James upset, he will never go on these fiery rants that Will or myself or Josh will sometimes go on. He will just be moody as hell, he is right now.
Yes.
This is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
James is he can't talk to James right now. He'll just go, shut up.
We got James. We got James to drop the C word 2 minutes into a podcast episode. He is fuming. He is pissed.
Well, I may as well reveal to our viewers and to our listeners, as part of being on the FRG, we will be having a meeting with Stan Lazaridis on Tuesday night.
Wow.
So I do have a few questions that I will be asking Stan, because we will except Alex, we were there at the shoe, among all the Glory fans yesterday, watching whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Some great chants that went around. Did you wash your hands? I think that was a good one.
I mean, the vibe there by the end was just off.
It was a funeral as we walked out.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of some initial thoughts from the game, so 4-0, the second game into the season, I think that's now 18 goals that we've conceded in a row against City without any sort of reply. I'm not sure if that's just under Zdrilic or including under Stadge as well, but either way, what did we make of the game in terms of some initial thoughts?
Can I ask a question for you to ask Stan first? Is that okay?
You can.
Question is,
Yes.
why? That's it.
It's an open-ended question. It could go anywhere.
Why? That's the
Why?
Yeah, I stand. Why?
Why?
That's it. Anyway, look. It was What is there to say? I feel like a broken record, man. That game was so shit. Like, I've genuinely seen better tactics from my local Sunday League side than I have watching the Glory. It's actually genuinely insane. I'm not even trying to sound like one of those fans and think, well, I could do better than this, because I get that's so...
It misses a lot of nuance from just that sort of
for
point.
sure.
But it's a
in
bit
this-
too obvious now.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what else to say other than it's just total ass. Like, there is no way to defend it anymore. Like, I have nothing I can look at and go, well, at least we did this. Like, you have your star striker with absolutely zero service for the whole game.
Yeah.
You got like 4 touches.
It's like imagine playing basketball, right?
Mm.
And you have this really, really good, like, guy can score 50 a game with the right players around him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you provide him tactically with absolutely zero help on
Or
and
no
off the
set
ball.
plays.
Imagine
to
you
try
have-
to help
set
him out.
plays.
Imagine
set
you
for
have
him.
LeBron and you give him a team full of Bronny James Juniors.
Sure.
Valid.
But the players aren't the problem, because he's actually got a lot of good support. It's just the
He does,
tactics.
yeah.
Imagine you would, I don't know, who's that little fella who's not actually a kid, but he's an adult. But he's Hezbollah. Imagine you have Steph Curry, but you may have Hezbollah as the coach. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point? Like, there is no point.
What
It'll
a-
be ass. I'm just trying to think of something that makes no sense. Hezbollah makes no sense, obviously.
That's valid.
So it's just, I don't have anything else to say, and I'm so lost, and I want to die.
Alex, thoughts on the game?
I was very concerned from right off the off. We conceded 2 chances within the first minute and a half. We started so incredibly poorly.
Yeah.
And look, we made a big point of this sort of throughout the week, even, on last week's podcast episode, but especially throughout the week, just in our group chat, just saying, like, City are going to kill us technically.
Yeah.
We knew this going into the game.
Yeah,
they
we
were going to
did.
look for those one-touch passes, the split in between the gaps into the half
Overloads in the
spaces,
middle.
the overloads
Yeah.
through the middle.
Yeah.
And then the first minute and a half, we were stretched so incredibly wide. I remember that first pass where O'Neill's had to come out to shut his man down. And then there's just a cut straight through the middle. Osler's not tracked his runner.
Yeah.
And then there's an option straight up in the first minute of the game.
Yeah.
And look, I completely agree with Will's sentiment. That game was shit. Honestly, I don't think I can look at a single sort of... Here's the thing, is that in the past, year under Zdrilic, the only sort of times that I can say, look at how well we played this game, were the 2 games against Auckland and Wellington. And those were 2 games where we just sat back and got lucky because the other teams were just shit at finishing. And...
We've never had a compelling
Exactly. We've never
though.
had a compelling performance
Or
under Zdrilic.
or comfortable.
Exactly. And even so far under Zdrilic this season, especially in pre-season, but also in these first 2 A-League games, I've not seen one promising passage of play. All I've seen so far is us getting carried by individual ability. You look at Kaczarski, Taggart, Despotovsky, that front line the first game doing really well. Kaczarski for the first half hour of this game before, unfortunately, he got injured.
Yeah.
And even in the midfield, sure, these first couple of games, I think Bosnovsky and O'Neill have been pretty good.
They've been
Especially
getting overwhelmed, though.
Exactly. They're getting overwhelmed, and there's no sort of backup for them because we've got a manager on the sideline who refuses to make changes. We saw it last week as well when he subbed out O'Neill at halftime when we were under pressure to bring on Freeney and then not make any changes despite bringing on a more attacking midfielder. If you're going to bring on a more attacking 8, you shift around your plan to get him on the ball and try to actually create some chances going forward. But we didn't do anything. We expected him to screen like Brandon O'Neill, who's been screening in the A-League for the past 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
You can't expect a teenager to come on in the center of defensive midfield after you played him left wing for the most of last season and expect him to defend like Brandon O'Neill. I know Will Freeney has legs, and I actually thought he had a really good performance when he came on
He had
yesterday.
the best chance that I think.
Absolutely.
He came the
Absolutely.
closest
Created
to
the most
scoring.
chances out of anyone on the team.
Yeah.
And look, that's credit to him. He is a fantastic sort of... I say fantastic. He's a really good playmaker. He's a very good playmaker, but he's not sort of that...
It's not really his game to set the tone
Exactly.
and dictate the tempo.
Exactly.
No.
That's Brandon O'Neill. That's Reece Bosnovsky. That's maybe even Callum Timmins, Luke Amos, Nicholas Pennington, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that David Zdrilic, I don't actually think knows his players, and that's the worst part. Is that I can say, sure, maybe if you get him some new signings, you need to give him some time to sort of get used to their style of play. But Will Freeney's a guy that he's worked with for over a year now, in and around the first team, and he still doesn't know what to do with Will Freeney, which is wild. Because Will Freeney is one of our best chance creators from those central pockets.
It's not even that, and then Josh, we'll get your thoughts in a bit. It's like the system hasn't really profiled any player to perform at their best and look like their best.
The only thing that we've got out of this system so far that I think is promising is the fact that Jaden Kucharski has a lot of freedom. And that is literally it.
He's
It's
been the
just
one
that
that's been bailing us out.
Exactly. But that's because he's dropping deep to give us space because we have no forward runners. You even look at the fact
he is
that...
the only forward runner. That's the thing.
Exactly.
So, you know.
He's dropping in off that right wing to give us an option to play inside, gets on the ball, and then he has no runner down that right-hand side. Like, credit to Trent Osler. I didn't think he had a horrible game. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad, but look, no one on that pitch was great that game, but you look at the fact that you need that forward runner going, especially when you have Kucharski, who has proven so far that he is able to sort of play those passes in behind, play those passes over the top. You need a forward runner going with him. I know Lachlan Wales was probably our best choice for right wing back to start the season at least, but you need to have that option going forward. And Zdrilic is not doing enough with these players to formulate a proper style of attacking play. We've seen defensive structure. I know there's going to be jokes, we're shit at defending, Brian Kaltak. The defensive structure of that game, I don't actually think was horrible. I just think we got overloaded in a big, big way.
I'll counter that point a little bit later, but Josh, we'll get your thoughts on the game.
To be honest, I thought it was just 90 minutes of ball chasing. I thought I was watching cricket, bro. It was a snooze fest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know the last 2 goals were too decent. One of them was a worldie.
No, both worldies.
Both worldies. But what do you expect when the ball was in our half for 90 minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
It was just boring. I think it got to one point where I was at the shoe and I said to James, I'm going to fall asleep. Even the commentators didn't know what to say.
Wiggles.
We would chase. I saw a good point in. I think it was. Can't remember if it was a reply to Glory's post or ours, but they were saying even if this does work, what happens when the sun starts heating up? You can't maintain the way we're playing. You can't keep chasing the ball for 90 minutes, and maybe that's why our players are looking so cooked.
Well, I thought this was interesting because I had a look at some of the stats after the game. Glory had a higher PPDA, and it's a bit of a woke term, so you have to bear with me.
What is that?
It's a stat that measures defensive intensity.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So David Zdrilic in his post-match press conference, the big point that he kept on banging on about was that City were physically dominant and that we didn't win enough duels.
Can I just say as well?
Yes.
To have this whole thing of, City were physically dominant, that's why we couldn't win duels, instead of, my system is shit and my positioning of players is bad.
Yeah.
What do you mean physically dominant when you have a squad full of teenagers and the only players they have over the age of 30 are short and sort of
technical players? They're not really.
You look at the players they had that were senior players. You've got Lecky, you've got Kanamori, not exactly the big physical beasts like Kaltak, Wooten.
Let me,
let
me just point this out. So, okay, sure, we had a much smaller tackle success rate than Melbourne City, but when it came to duels, we had a higher duel success rate than Melbourne City.
Yeah,
and I think we won more ground duels than Melbourne City as well. And again, like I was mentioning, our pressing intensity was of a much higher level than Melbourne City. So I can't blame the players necessarily for their effort. I just think, once again, as we've mentioned so many times, it's down to the system. It's down to coaching. The situation for me is untenable and he has to go. I know it's early on in the season. I know it's 2 games in, but I think there was a comment that we mentioned at the beginning that one of the fans said where we all saw this coming.
Yeah.
But the arrogance of certain individuals at this football club to say, well, no, if we change things around David Zdrilic or we change the players, you're going to see something different. No, you're polishing a turd. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
We saw Melbourne City, the way that they just move the ball and how they just ping it about. It's not even funny. Like obviously, yes, they're the champions. They won the league last season and they're off a high. They just beat Buriram in the Asian Champions League Elite. Huge win. It's a massive win for them. But you can just see that they play with such confidence. You can see that they are a well-drilled team. They're very clear on how they attack.
They're playing with a plan.
Well, they play with a plan, and it's like it doesn't matter if they've got kids that are playing or they've got experienced guys that are playing. It's very clear what they do in every moment of the game, that there is so much clarity.
There's an ideology that they clearly all are on board with and all want to follow and all will play the same depending on what the other... I don't know necessarily.
And you look at our guys and they are so fucking lost.
Yeah. I will say as well, right? Aurelio Vidmar is not the, best tactician we've ever seen coming out of A-League football.
It's not revolutionary.
Absolutely not, right? But if there's one thing I can give him credit on, it's his ability to get the most out of these young players.
Yeah,
you look at the
absolutely,
likes of Max Caputo, a young striker coming off of a horrific injury from last season. He's come off this season. He's already scored 4 goals. You look at the likes of these young players that he's bringing off the bench. Kutleshi, 16 years old, looked fantastic when he came on. Beckham Baker has looked really good in those small cameos that he's made in the A-League and in the Asian Champions League. You look at the likes of Nekovsky coming through the ranks. Sure, he didn't appear yesterday, but he still looks really good when he's coming through. And even the likes of Zane Schreiber, Rashmani. You look at the likes of Durakovic coming on. You look at all these young players that he's bringing in, Truan. All these young players that are coming in and having an immediate effect on this team. It makes you wonder, what is Aurelio Vidmar doing that David Zdrilic is not? Because if you're asking me, is there a serious gap in quality between someone like a Lawrence Wong and someone like a Will Franey? No, I don't think there is. No. But you have to ask yourself, why is it that Lawrence Wong can go out and put up really, really good performances despite his inexperience and obvious physical, physical undergrowth compared to a lot of midfielders in the A-League? Why is he able to go out and put up such good technical performances? And hold on, I'll just finish here. Yeah. There's a serious problem with how this coaching is going because with young players, I've experienced this with, my under-18s teams that I coach. And sure, people in the comments, you can say whatever about, oh, well, you're comparing your under-18s Gosnell's team to an A-League side. Sure, but there's one thing that you have to understand about young players, and that is you have to be so much more involved with key development. You can't ask young players to learn on their own. You can't just say, here's the system, go play it. You have to hold their hand through it and drill it into them. Well, you can tell that with Aurelio Vidmar, all right, it's almost like he's coaching a team full of his own kids. The way he gets around these players, the way he speaks really positively of them, the way he holds them accountable, and the way he gives them a big role to play while also making sure that they have the support around them to be able to do that. Yep. We have a quality crop of young players. You look at the likes of Labib, Majex. You look at the likes of Shamoon now coming in. You look at the likes of Kaczarski now coming in. Despotovsky coming through. You look at the likes of Franey.
And can I just say, I can't imagine how it would feel as a player going through this.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing is as well, these players have senior players that they're relying on for support. I've not heard once from any of the players that they are relying on Zdrilic. I've heard that they've relied on Adam Griffiths, that he helps a lot. We've heard this firsthand from a lot of players and staff that speak incredibly highly of the way that Adam Griffiths goes about coaching young defensive players.
And it's also just the senior players as well.
And the senior players as well. We've heard
Kaltak
time and time again, Kaltak, Wooten, Taggart, Wales, all having big big roles to play in sort of helping these young guys get through it. And you can tell that they're getting better. But when I don't hear a single word about how Zdrilic is encouraging these young players and getting the best out of them, it makes you wonder, what is the actual plan here? Because if Ross does want us to be a powerhouse in terms of getting young WA talents and being able to push them through, like he said he wants to do, then why are you not getting a coach that can get the best out of these young players?
Let's put it this way. A big reason why we're performing as shit as we are now is because of environment. So that's why someone like Brian Kaltak, who has been a great defender in the A-League and can be a really good defender for us, was just so out of whack in the game against Melbourne City. Yep. Like, you can tell he's not playing with the same confidence that he has done at the Mariners and played like that guy that you just can't get past. He's playing like a guy that you can run through. Yes. In the same way that we criticised Lockie Barr, the same way we criticised Lewis Kungar last season. Yeah. David Zdrilic is not getting these guys in the right state of mind where they can not only have the confidence, but also have that resilience where even if shit hits the fan, they've got that ability to go again and reset and just play at a good level consistently. Yep. So the coaching is a big, big problem. And once again, Zdrilic was out-coached in the game against Melbourne City. So the lineups... City had a few changes. We didn't have any changes. We had the same lineup that we did against Wellington. The only changes were on the bench.
Entirely different bench apart from Will Franey.
Pretty much so. And Ryan Warner.
Well, I said an entirely different bench.
I mean, I was happy with that lineup. Well done. I mean, we thought we were going to get Amos, Lawrence and stuff, but they were still injured, I think.
I think Lawrence is more of a fitness issue at this
and
point.
Visa possibly.
And oh no, Visa was for last week.
Well,
Visa,
Visa's
I think
still not done.
Is it still not done?
I mean,
I heard
I've
I heard it was sorted, but it's waiting for
I
fitness
did
concerns.
I did get an ad on my Facebook saying next Friday, and it was Matta and Lawrence on the poster.
Maybe.
So
yeah.
maybe
Well, we
he'll
also
play.
saw Matter in the Mandra game.
Yeah.
didn't
Oh,
we?
yeah,
And he
yeah.
didn't
Come
play.
see Juan Matters, Melbourne victory.
and he didn't even play a minute.
Yeah.
Was he on the bench? No, he wasn't.
No, he just didn't show up.
He was in the
just-
stands. He took some
Yeah.
photos. That was it.
So, were we happy with the lineup, or was it like no? Not
well,
happy?
I was happy,
I
to be
don't
honest.
care.
Valid.
Okay. No, like I understand this is a podcast about the glory and everything, but in general, I feel like now if you guys feel the same, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. If you guys have more tolerance for what's going on, that's great. But the lineup was fine. Like we all said last week that the lineup was the best we could have fielded against Wellington. Once again, it's the best we could have fielded this week. Like there was genuinely nothing wrong with the lineup, apart from once again some of the positionings of like let's play Risdon at centre back again. That's fun. That's brilliant. But like for the lineup that he's playing, I think Josh made this point earlier. Like, are you okay?
Sorry. Yes, keep going.
Okay. What's with the players that we're playing not coming close to fitting the tactical setup that we have, right?
Yeah.
Like, once again, I say, so we're going to play a 5-back, right? Or whatever it was that it felt like. I know it's technically a 3-back, but the way it felt like we were just dropping back and it was amazing.
Average positions had us being
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
deep. Yeah.
So once again, we have a fully healthy Labib. Let's play Risdon there instead. Why? Like, I just don't understand.
He wants because
why.
he is driller when we have the ball that morphs into a 4-4-2. So it's this weird structure that he has us playing,
It's
and even
so woke.
it's not even woke. It's just like it's like a fake structure because you think we're trying to build out from the back and we're going to try and pass through Melbourne City,
But
like
then we
driller
immediately
said.
switched to
but
a
then we-
4-4-2 that
but-
we know horrifically
well, not even,
from
but,
last season.
but it's not. But it's not even. It's not even formation. It's just the behaviors within that system. It's like, well, as soon as we get the ball, it's like there's no movements to the player that's in possession. It's just boom, we're going to hoop it late.
Here's the thing, though, right?
Yeah.
You can tell from the way that we switch to that 4-4-2 when we play out from the back. Zdrilic's entire play in this season, at least in my mind, what makes sense to me is that he was banking on Zach Lizalewski being that left centre back for the entirety of the season because he is our only left-footed defender.
Yeah.
He is our only
That's
left-footed
scary,
defender.
isn't
it?
And let me just say as well, right? Zach Lizalewski, when he comes back, he's going to be phenomenal,
100%.
in my opinion. However, we saw from Risdon that he struggled to play out from the back last week against Wellington. So surely at this point you would say, okay, switching to a 4-4-2 with Risdon as an as a right-footed left back, with Wales as a right-footed left winger is clearly not working. So what we should be doing is changing the way that we build out from the back. I know we haven't exactly probably coached that in preseason, but you do need to have a backup plan there in case something doesn't work. Because what you're telling me with this is that we had the entirety of preseason to coach through a second style, but we didn't do it. And we said it last week on the pod. With Zdrilic, we get the big feeling that if plan A doesn't work, plan B is try plan A again.
Yeah.
All right?
It's true.
And the thing is, if you don't know how to build out from the back without Zach Lizalewski at left back or without Sam Sutton dropping in at left back, which he shouldn't be doing anyway when we're building out from the back, you should have him high up so we can get on the attack, then why would you not change the style of building out from the back and then bring Labib into the squad? That first goal came from Risdon's lack of recovery pace, the insanely high line, and then Risdon's inability to get back. And hold on, I will say, I love Risdon. I absolutely love him. He would do really well here until we can get Lockie Wales back at left wing back. He would do really well at right wing back.
Well, let's just but I think even still for that first goal, take it back a few steps because we were in our pressing shape that Melbourne City just exploited really easily. So when Atkinson received the ball at right back, I think Lockie Wales was a bit too far away, and I think the
he
distance.
gave him too much time.
Yeah, too much time, and his distance was too much that he had to try and cover. So Atkinson had time to settle, take a touch, and then play Truan in, Kai Truan in, sorry. So one thing you might notice is that we had a makeshift back four, and it was there was a City winger that was on the touchline, and then Matt Leckie that was in between Josh Risdon. And Rizzo was kind of pointing out one of the players. And Truan basically had a quick look, Taggart was a bit too far away from Truan. Ball gets to Truan, knocks it over, and our back line just gets caught off guard. We were way too flat. And I think even blaming Risen would be unfair.
Yeah. I'm not blaming him entirely. I'm saying that I think the recovery pace that Labib would offer would make a difference there. And especially since you played Cowtack at left centre-back the entirety of preseason just to not do it now.
It's organisation, though, of the line in general, though, like we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
So, like, Cowtack for this goal, I think our line wasn't in unison. We weren't trying. Were we trying to play offside, or what were we doing?
We didn't know.
It was. I didn't like. There's just such inconsistency with our defensive line in this game and in the previous game.
It's so fitting as well. It's so fitting as well that for a team in ourselves that tries endlessly in games to play long ball after long ball after long ball, the first long ball we concede against a team that is possession focused, we concede from. How fitting. How absolutely
next minute, David Zdrilic is going to turn an Arna slot complaining about long balls.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Sorry, Josh, were you about to say
That's
something?
right.
No? Oh, yeah, so...
No, I was just going to say, we're going to move into the second goal.
Well, I'll just finish on the first one. So, Cowtack, I don't think he dealt with Lecky's cross that well, and then Caputo was just a really simple finish. But, our high line was almost Wellington Phoenix level high. So, none of the Glory players were
It's not the Glory players' fault.
Well,
it's Dave's fault.
Well, and I just think the repetition of us working on our pressing structure, I don't think we've fixed those details too well just yet. But you could just see a bit of confusion. Like, do we step up? Who's holding the line? Who's communicating it? So that was a problem.
Yep.
We were just really sloppy and haphazard on the ball. And since you kind of led to it, the second goal, Brian Cowtack's mistake.
Well, I actually wanted to get Alex up for this, right?
Yeah.
Stand up, right? Stand up, hold your mic. Hold your mic, stand up, right? This is the prime example of how we conceded the second goal, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, you are a Melbourne City player.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Here's what we're going to do, right? We're playing an incredibly shitty deep line, right? Because for whatever reason, we were playing a high line. Then we're going to just drop so far deep, right?
Yeah.
That it's going to become even more of a hazard, right?
Yes.
So you're the Melbourne City player putting any kind of pressure on a tactically shit team, right? I'm Brian Cowtack. I don't know what to do. But because I'm so far in my own box, any kind of mistake will equal a goal. Because if you're not high enough up the field, right, and you lose the ball, you will concede instantly. But if you play a high enough line that you're not batshit insane, right, you can still hold on to the ball and maybe even recover it, right? So go, press me, I'm Brian Cowtack. Oh, I've lost the ball, you're through on goal. That's all it was.
That's
Because
true.
if we played a higher line, like an efficient higher line there, instead of dropping back, playing, 95 drop back, whatever it is on that FIFA, I don't know what it is these days. It's stupid.
Don't
Park
act like
the
you don't
bus.
play it.
Yeah. No, but I know it's 5 depth.
Yeah,
But like when you park the bus like that, you're going to concede if you're as tactically inept as this team is. Because there is no organisation. If you're going to concede your first goal from the line like that, right, when you have no actual strategics, any setup, right, the line just wasn't there. You're trying to play a high line and you can't. You concede the first goal. Then you're like, okay, well, let's just drop back then. You still don't have clearly the tactical setup to know how to do that. So you will make a sloppy mistake. And once you make that mistake, just like you did the first goal, you concede. You can make it the second mistake. It's even easier for second goal because you just don't have a clue what's going on. And I feel for Brian here, right? Because I saw a lot of people saying, well, this is what you should expect because he's washed now. I don't think it's true at all.
No.
Productive environment.
Productive environment because you're putting one of the better A-League centre-backs in a position where he doesn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
You're putting him in a position where he has to try and go either play out to the wide with the City press. So he turns around. He's about 6 yards from his own goal. What's he supposed to do? Like, I genuinely don't understand what else he could have done.
I just think it's just a mistake. There doesn't even need to be much analysis into it.
It also perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a mistake, but it also perfectly highlights how effective that Melbourne City City high press is compared to us. The aim of pressing, and I see a lot of people get confused by this, but the aim of pressing is not to immediately win the ball. It is to force your opponents back and force them into a mistake so they turn over possession.
Yes.
They perfectly did that. The entirety of the game. Caputo pressed really well. Kanamori pressed really well. They forced us back and back and back and back, and then they pounced on the mistake. That is absolutely perfect pressing. They've been doing it for an entire season now, but Zdrilic did not set us up to deal with the press. We had no outlets to play out from the back to actually beat the pressing line.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know a lot of people will say, say, oh, well, the way you beat a press is by going over long and winning the head. No, you can actually play out from. You can play
He
out from a
said
press.
that in his fucking press conference
exactly.
pre-game.
When you get runners and effective movement and effective structure, you can play out from a high line press, and it offers you a lot of chances on the break, which we could have made the most of, considering you have guys like Kaczarski, Taggart, and Despotovsky there.
Yeah.
But we had no outlets to play out from the back because our wing-backs are insanely high up the pitch. They force our centre-backs back in, and then we have no outlet to play out from the back.
It's just. Here's a little fact.
Ooh.
When we do building out situations in terms of goal kicks, my understanding is we don't do it against live opposition. We do it against mannequins.
You kidding?
Nope.
You're kidding.
That's what we did last year.
Okay.
If that's changed, I'm happy to be corrected.
What in the grasshopper soccer are we doing, bro?
My understanding is when we did build out situations, it would be against mannequins, and that when it came to 11v11s, when you're playing against real opposition that move, that adjust, as we're seeing with Melbourne City, players are having to think of it on the fly. It looks so obvious when we play that we are just improvising on the go.
Want to know what I did find
Wait
funny?
a minute. The mannequin's not supposed to be there.
What
and why
the
is he
fuck?
wearing a Melbourne City kit?
No,
It's moving.
Want to know what I did find funny? Like, the commentators after that Caltech game, they were like blaming the pitch. They were like, oh, this Melbourne City pitch is terrible. Like, the
it's
Glory
very
players
slippery.
are
It's
struggling.
very worry.
No,
very worry.
But we are so poorly coached, like, because there's just too much of a focus on the Red Bull pressing, and even still, when you take away pressing, you can see with how we play and how Melbourne City play. And yes, they are the champions, so there's a big difference in terms of the spectrum, in terms of where City are and where we are, particularly from last season. But you see how they are in all the key moments of the game, and you compare how we are in all the key moments of the game. As we said last week, it's now no longer a squad problem.
Yeah,
we have got a good squad that should be doing a lot better than what it is doing.
We have
right
one of
now.
the best squads on paper in the league.
When everyone's fit, sure, but that's the thing. It shouldn't be.
They should be fit.
Well, apologies. You are relying on players that are having routinely a lot of injury issues.
When they're playing on a pitch, they're training on a pitch that's covered in bongs and crack pipes. It's not their fault.
Objection, Your Honour. Objection.
Well,
Objection, Your Honour.
when
Objection. Your Honour.
when we'll touch on this. The Mirror Booker pitch situation is a fucking nightmare that it seemingly was taking victims from players that weren't even playing on it. Like we had Jaden Kaczarski pick up a groin injury. I thought Brandon O'Neill at one point
Yeah, he
looked
nearly
like
picked up a little groin niggle.
From parks full of dog shit to parks full of box.
It's true, though.
No, but also...
Objection,
You-
Your Honour.
no,
This
you-
man is
you're
using his
right.
brain.
It is Mirror
he's
Booker,
using his
so-
brain.
don't use your brain.
Clarification, James.
No worries.
I think the best way to describe that game, I think...
we needed a crack up or something,
Yeah, no, clearly. The last two goals we can get to, obviously, and we will. I
Yeah.
would just say these first two goals were more... Like, those first two were more telling than the last two. The last two were pure, like, a lot of individual brilliance, where these two was just a lot of individual errors.
City
from
did their
us.
damage in the first half.
Yeah. So what I will say is that it was pretty obvious in the first half. It genuinely felt like, because I was watching with you two boys, and this is exactly what I felt. It felt like we were watching a preseason game, and Perth were the test dummy team for Melbourne City to try out their tactics.
Yeah, passive, yeah.
Yeah,
It reminded me of the in-house friendly game we watched.
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Because we were genuinely so tactically inept and unable to do anything. It genuinely felt like it was deliberate. Like, it felt like we were under the instruction to not try too hard because City are trying to figure out how to break us down.
Just to give a bit of context as well in terms of some stats from the first half. So in terms of stats that favoured us, we had more tackles, more interceptions, more blocks and more clearances than Melbourne City.
Oh, no shit.
So touches in the opposition box.
Yeah,
This
here
is
we
the big
go.
one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
At
here we
halftime,
go.
we had 4 touches in Melbourne City's box at halftime.
Yeah.
Melbourne City had, are you ready? 31.
What?
Yes.
31.
I was going to guess 17.
30.
I was going to say like 11.
31 touches in our box at halftime.
We got touched.
We got
In the opposition
spanked.
box.
Yeah.
We got spanked. Now, this was the thing as well. Max Caputo probably should have made it 3-0 when he had that
Yeah.
chance that he sent
Yeah.
over the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a point that I want to raise as well. Our 10s were really slack at tracking back in those pressing situations. Like when that first phase of pressure was done, it was almost like they were just thinking, oh, no, we're cool. We're higher up the pitch. Everything's sorted. I don't need to run back because we need to wait for the transition moment. Yet our two midfielders in the middle were getting swamped. And if you watch back that chance that Caputo had that he put over the bar, Blair should have been helping out more on that side, on the right-hand side, to help out. I think it was Osler and Kauta because they were both getting done, and Bozanovsky just couldn't help out because he got caught out of position.
Why didn't he?
I just want to highlight
The great
again,
physique was
another,
The great physique just wasn't there, was it, Alex?
another piece of of squad management brilliance by Zdrilic to not bring a single winger with him on a single winger or 10 on the trip with him.
Well, he bought Bulgaria, but he didn't.
Oh, sorry, yes, he bought Bulgaria.
He brought Callum Timmins.
Where was Quiet and Gary?
Bought Bulgaria,
Where was
omitted him
Kwa?
from the.
I don't actually.
Bought Bulgaria, didn't bring him on,
Yeah.
and then subbed Will Franey on in the second half into an attacking position, and he proceeded to be our best chance creator.
So
Hey, where was Kwa? Anyone?
not selected.
Just not.
Not selected. So
Probably because we have an inflated squad.
no shit.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
we definitely in the second half switched our formation to a 4-4-2.
Yes.
Now
Yay.
I heard apparently that at halftime David Zdrilic did not really give that many tactical instructions. It was
Bang.
just keep going,
just
guys,
scratching his
keep
head.
going. Or as someone from Suited and Booted suggested, he was playing the Wake Up Jeff from the Wiggles song. So that could have helped, but probably wasn't enough. But yeah, our structure was just getting toyed by
Yeah.
Melbourne City so many times. We were very lethargic and sleepish at just stepping out and leaving space in behind, and just not tracking our runs very well, which led to Matseo's shot that he went and sent over the bar into row triple Z. So that was one thing to notice. And another note that I wrote was that, again, just the confidence. Sorry, that shouldn't have hit as hard as it did, but it did. So when you watch how the two teams attack, and we kind of touched on it before, but Melbourne City, the way that they attack with the confidence that they do, just how they punch the ball into their players and how they just run at glory and just were able to make shit happen. You would think every time they attack, something's going to happen.
Yes.
And then
It's going to happen.
I just felt like a couple times, like this was a few times during the match, we were passing it around the back, but then we couldn't do anything going forward, so we kept passing it back. The players didn't know what to do, and then we just do a stupid pass and instantly lose possession.
because we were very tentative when we had that attack. I think there was one opportunity when Suleimani was about to cross it in and just was like kind of hesitating, and we just don't. And again, we just don't seem.
Players don't have the confidence. It's like they don't know what to do.
Well, do we actually work on patterns of play against live opposition?
No.
That'd be a wonderful question that I'd love to ask Stan or David Zdrilic. Like, do we work on those actual predetermined patterns of play?
I don't think so. We use mannequins.
No, yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
Why do I just have the feeling that Zdrilic watched the Arsenal All or Nothing documentary and took some of Arteta's things? It's like, oh guys, we're playing Sydney next week at Leichhardt Oval. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all the Cove chants and play them over loudspeaker.
Oh fuck.
Got to recreate the atmosphere here, boys.
Yeah. So for City's third goal, you could see that Bozanovsky, he had the intent to press, and then when he saw that there was no one following up from behind and the rest of the boys were just staying back, he just kind of like threw his hands up and then what the fuck? And then you could kind of see Zdrilic scratching his head a little bit.
Meathead scratch man.
In that moment afterwards. And then Schreiber just, Jesus, he had so much space in midfield.
Yeah, so this is
and then a wonderful goal, but, you know.
So we're moving to a 4-4-2, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so 4-4-2 is supposed to be one of the most balanced formations in the game, right? In terms of
Correct.
like having positions
Coverage, yes.
covering all of the field,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Tell me why. Tell me why, right?
That was dead, bro.
Backstreet Boys. Tell me why. Once Bozza got past, right?
Yes.
And we all saw his,
It was like, for fuck's sake.
What? Why is there so much space available to the opposition in a 4-4-2? That's the whole point of the 4-4-2, is for that not to be able to happen. That's genuinely the whole point of a 4-4-2, is to be able to clog up the field to not allow the other team to have enough space to pass and move. That's genuinely
well, it's a great question.
I think it's the guy that's coaching the 4-4.
No,
you look at him on the sideline, just... That's not supposed to happen.
But genuinely,
Fuck.
I don't. How do you stuff up a 4-4-2 that bad to the
Don't
point?
know.
How is it possible? Is it sabotage? Like,
How
at
is
this point?
fucking
No,
possible?
it's
Honestly, how is
it's
fucking
just
possible?
it's poorly coached. It's just there's no need for any sort of post-mortem. We are poorly coached. There's nothing more that needs to be said.
Do you
but
think-
what a goal from Schreiber.
No, I don't care.
Beautiful.
Do you
Fair
think? Yeah, no. Shut up. Do you think that this is the Steven Gerrard thing? I know I keep asking this. Where the players,
Fuck that.
no, yeah, where the players are genuinely not trying anymore because they want Dave to go.
I think the bat signal's up well and truly now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
You know, where they look back at, was it Roy?
Yeah,
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 Roy.
he goes,
Ah, fuck that.
I missed this.
bang. Yeah,
I missed
yeah.
this. Roy's going to lose his job.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
Okay, in all seriousness,
No.
though, if Dave does go, would you want him gone in the international
Now.
break?
Well, let's just
I
hold
personally
on.
want him gone now because
Hold-
I don't like for the victory game. Let Griffiths take over.
Look, well,
Here's the thing, right? If you can get a coach in now,
can
give
we-
them 2 weeks to work
Alex,
with... give them-
Alex,
hold
we'll
on.
shut
put
up,
it on the
Alex.
back burner. We'll have a whole section on discussing
Yes.
the coach. We've still got one more goal to talk about.
I don't
Right.
want to talk about it.
So, again, it was almost the exact same scenario for the third goal
Yes.
for how shit our shape was.
Yeah.
Like when you watch this and you see the replay of that goal and you just see like there were 5 or 6 Glory players that were pressing but kind of just passively standing around. Any coach that has no affiliation to Glory but is just watching that shape, they'd be going, oh shit. And if I'm Arthur Dillis, who just got spanked by Newcastle 5-2, I'm going, we might actually not lose this game. We might actually smash the Glory instead.
You should have known that. Like,
Yeah,
every
he
team
will.
should. Every team should think that.
Every team will be doing that. All the shit teams as well.
I had a mate who supports Melbourne Victory message me saying, I just witnessed the worst my team's ever played, and I still think we're beating you 6-0 next week.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me.
That's what it's like. And so that's the thing. Kanamori received in so much space. One pass took out 4 or 5 Glory players.
Yeah.
He finds Romani, and then Romani, look, great strike.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's the difference in an effective system, coaching of behaviours and habits and principles. That is why the situation is untenable. And now, Alex, we can now discuss the topic that probably every single Glory fan was discussing either during the game or at full time. He has got to go. Stop
Blood.
this circus. Stop this facade. Get something in place by the international break.
Now.
No, now, James.
Wait. No, as in like you have, let's say, someone like John Aloisi lined up so that if he can't join now, because these things do take time.
I
in
understand.
terms of, just wait. In terms of coaches trying to get into the job, right? Because it takes time. But you can have an interim, right? You can have an interim for the
Yes.
next few games, but then ideally you have the next guy starting at the international break.
James, the thing is, the longer we leave it, the less chance we have of
I'm not
getting
saying leaving. I'm
Aloisi.
saying you sack Driller now,
Yes.
and you have an interim.
I agree.
Because you can't. Things don't work like that, Joshua. Things don't
I
work
get
like
that.
that where you can bring in a coach just like that. For as much as I would fucking love to have, let's say, Aloisi or Kisnorbo right now,
Yes.
it doesn't just work like that.
They're a free agent.
No, well, technically he's still bound to Western United. He's got he re-signed a well. I mean, the contract should technically
What's
be null and
Western
void.
United?
I know they're an insolvent entity pretty much, but it does take time because you've got to bring in staff, you've got to make changes in that area, and Aloisi or Kisnorbo will have their demand. So it's not that simple to bring him in ASAP.
Okay,
but
well,
we
as
should
long as we're in start negotiations.
I will say, right?
well,
I will say, in an ideal world, I would try and get the new coach in now. Give them 2 weeks to work with. Hold on.
I agree.
Give them 2 weeks to work with the squad. Give them the 2 weeks over the international break, and then hopefully, by the time we come back from that, it's been a month. We can see something starting to formulate. I know that it doesn't go that quick, but you know what, James? Would you get the coach in now or over the international break? It doesn't matter when you would get them in. Because in my opinion, all right, you need to get them in as soon as possible. Give them 2 weeks to formulate now. If it doesn't work, whatever. Give them 2 more weeks over the international break. By then, you should see something starting to go. You should see the strongest 11.
Yes.
You should see the depth.
Yes.
The depth being fixed.
Yes.
You should see the new staff coming in and having an immediate effect. I'm talking new assistant. Look, let's just say for the sake of the argument, you do bring in the Aloisi brothers.
if you can
If
somehow,
you can convince
because that
Ross
would be
to come over
ideal.
from Shanghai, and you can get John Aloisi to come in as the head coach, that is phenomenal. I would keep Adam Griffiths at that point as well, because he's proven that he has immense value as a defensive coach and as a motivator for these young defenders.
The big thing is going to be in terms of how they can work it all, because the thing we have to consider as well, we have brought in new staff. Now, a point that was made during the game that probably should be brought up as well, our physio. I think we need a
I'm
new.
not saying anything.
I think we need a new physio.
I'm saying something.
Okay.
I think we need a new physio.
Why, James?
I agree.
Why?
I think we need a new
Well, no
groundskeeper
shit when
for-
half our players are getting injured.
Well, I think we also need
20 minutes
we
in.
also need probably a new groundskeeping staff for Mirrabooka,
do.
because the
We
pitch is
do.
clearly not ready, considering that we've had to move grounds
Yeah.
again.
All we need just like security around the fencing.
No, we don't
No,
need
it's the
security
pitch-
around the
the pitch
fencing.
is
I need
just
security
too
to make sure
hard.
David Zdrilic can't get into the
No.
Mirrabooka grounds anymore.
But that's the thing. I was saying, like, one day we will have a conversation about Glory having one of the worst physio and medical departments in the whole A League.
Yeah.
We do. Like, and this is the you know what the irony was. Aurelio Vidmar. What did he say? Vidmar. He said at the end of the game that
Just what?
just
I'm
hold
just
it.
going to add in real quick.
Yeah, while I'm getting it up.
You know it's bad when you see on all the players, well, not all of them, but I see on a lot of players' stories that they're going to their own private physios. You know it's bad.
Yeah, you know it's horrible
Yeah.
when that's the case.
Yeah, so basically what he was saying was that in terms of their injuries, he said, well, we've got to put our hand up because something's clearly wrong with our program.
Yeah.
Things aren't right. Yet David Zdrilic is like, oh, well, we're underdone or this or that. Yet we've got so many players that have got, I didn't mean to do that, by the way. That was, and don't think I was going there either. But there are clearly a lot of soft tissue-based injuries. There
How
are
many, James?
Not 6 or 7.
Oh, okay.
A lot more.
But there are
Yeah, a lot more.
No, but there are quite a few players that have been out injured. There have been quite a few players that have had soft tissue injuries over the last few years.
Yeah.
There have been quite a lot of knee-based injuries, impact-based injuries. So, look, and I think there should be, not just in terms of our physio department, but there should be an independent review of our whole football department and its whole operations.
Yeah.
That's done with no bias or interference from the likes of Stan Lazaridis or Jason Bontempo. Those people, when it comes to making decisions at this football club, Ross has to be getting advised by better people. He has to be getting advised by proper professionals, because again, that comment that Daniel mentioned about how Ross wants to build a club that's for the community that they're proud of. Well, you're not getting there when you've got people that are there that seemingly are there for vested interest. They're there for themselves, and they're not really giving you the best decisions because they've had no experience in the game. And it's like, you could be someone like David Zdrilic and go, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? You've never been involved in the game. You've never done this. You've never done that. Who the fuck are you to tell me that? Even though any criticism towards Driller is currently valid from us as fans,
Yes.
Stan can't really say much to Driller. It's like, because he's never been a director of football.
Yeah.
Bontempo's never ran a club before.
But then again, Driller has never been a head coach before this.
That's also a good point. But it just accentuates the need for Ross to get a hold of things, because I've mentioned this to you guys a lot of times currently this season with Catania and Sediche. Again, I'm going to keep banging on about it. But the difference that a good coach can make that they have, Toscano has got his sides across his time in Sediche promoted to Sedi Bear, I think 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
The guy's a winner. And you've got 3 championship winning coaches
Can I
currently
say
available right now.
Can I say as well, you also have to look at the fact that a proper director of football who at least knows the environment in which they're working in also works wonders. I know we're going to give shit to the Peligro group, but Vince Grella is doing a lot better with Catania than Bontempo and Stan are doing with Perth currently.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing, is that when you're managing a Serie A squad, the physical load on these players is a lot more extreme than it is in the A-League. Despite the A-League being a better level, Serie A, you have, at least 12 more league games. You have the cup competitions.
Yeah.
You have all this kind of stuff, right? The games are shorter in between. It's a lot more of a physical league as well. So you have to wonder if Grella is able to get in good enough staff for Catania, a Serie A side, to be able to keep their star players relatively fit.
Yep.
Why can we not do that here in Perth, where you have the entire pick of the WA just
Because he's being advised by the wrong people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have Bontempo and Stan trying to employ people off of recommendations from their friends. These people are friends of friends, and that's why they're getting jobs. You can't have that, especially at this level, because you've got people that are simply not up to the level. I'm sure that these people worked very hard for their uni degrees and probably, earned a good reputation here and there, but they're clearly not competent with taking care of the sides.
I'll put it to a smaller or a different scale. It's like running a mechanic shop with apprentices. All apprentices.
Exactly.
And you're getting the apprentice to then, let's say, run the business.
Exactly.
Where, okay, maybe he's done bits and pieces here and there, but clearly he's not qualified or experienced enough. And so that's why it's really important that, okay, they've given it a go with these people that are running things, but our reputation hasn't really improved. And I think there was a little bit of goodwill heading into this season in that, Zdrilic now has no excuses.
Correct.
We've let go a lot of staff. We've let go a lot of players. But I still found it extraordinary that, as part of our review, that we no doubt would have done of our whole footballing operations, that our conclusion was not, we need a new coach. We need a coach that can actually plan sessions and have a good session design and not just make things up on the fly when they rock up to training, allegedly.
Oh, I don't know if we can say this really, guys. I was invited to his bar mitzvah. I don't really want to sit around the Christmas dinner table with him.
No, but we need a coach, number one, that when he walks in, players can go, we actually might go somewhere that's not the wooden spoon, but actually the finals, that maybe we can start to dream big as a fan base.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned people like Aloisi or Kisnorbo, that when they walk in through the door, you can say, oh, Kisnorbo, how he left Melbourne Victory was a bit shit and how he's done at Yokohama was a bit shit also. But it's like, he walks in, one of those coaches walks in through the door and they could say, I'm a winner. There's not a lot of winners here, but if you follow me, I'll turn you guys into winners. You immediately solve the credibility issue. Meanwhile, if David Zdrilic walked in and he said, I'm a winner. Oh, fuck. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to turn you guys into winners. Actually,
one of the guys I used to work with is a winner.
Yeah. So that's so. But you see how there's a credibility issue, and I'm sure the players are in a difficult position right now. But I have no doubt they are feeling among themselves, and we'll get into the player ratings in a little bit.
I want to just say as well quickly, right?
Yeah, go on.
James,
I miss this old Popovich mentality. Look, I've talked about endless about how I don't like Popper's tactics and how I don't think it's suited to run a national team and stuff like that. But if I can give him one thing, it is that his way or the highway mentality works exceptionally well for an A-League club that lacks inspiration. You saw it when he came into the Glory, and we've heard stories from the likes of Jason Davidson, etc. When he came in, it was very much, I'm a winner, you're not. You follow me, you will become a winner. Or, you're shit, I'm going to make you not shit.
Let me tell you. So when he got when he had the meetings with Tony Sage about becoming the Glory manager, he literally said to Sage, "I'll take your club to the very top," and he did pretty much. Within one season.
He did.
Yeah. Did we expect it? No. But this is the thing. That's the thing. You bring in a coach that has a clear track record and has done very well when he was at the Western Sydney Wanderers.
Yeah.
I think it would be transformative. And I know people can say, oh, what, is a coach suddenly going to change things? Maybe if we get Aloisi or Kisnorbo, maybe it won't change a damn thing. But it'll have a much better chance of things changing if you make the change.
But you have to fix the culture as well. And the thing is, a coach has so much more of an effect on culture than people realize. You look at the likes of, I know this is a strong reach, but you look at the likes of Antonio Conte, right? If you go from a sort of mid-club, having, whatever managers, you go from the likes of having someone like that. If you go to having someone like a Conte or like an Ancelotti, someone who is very sort of just strict on their ideals, knows what they want from their squad, knows how to get what they want from their squad, and if you don't like it, you piss off, that is the best possible thing you can have for a struggling club. Because you need someone to take your club by the balls and say, no, this is what we're doing. If you don't like it, you're out the door.
There has to be standards.
And we had someone like that last season, and we did not last season, the season before, and we didn't give him support. And as much as I like to say with Stadge that I didn't like his style of football, at least with Stadge, I could say that he knew what he wanted to get out of his players.
He was professional.
Exactly. But with Zdrilic, I genuinely don't know what this guy wants to get out of his team anymore.
It's a con job at this point if we keep keeping him in his position.
I also think, like, in terms of the culture, I think you're 100% right that the manager has a big impact on that. But I also think now, obviously we have zero, evidence to back this up, but you can see from a lot of the body language, I just don't think any number of the players involved are actually buying into anything that Dave is saying.
Absolutely
or
not.
doing.
And like props to them because you can see they're still trying.
Okay, so this, I think the players, as a guess, they would think going into that change room or going into the bus or eventually going into the plane on the way back home from Melbourne, they'd be thinking, "Fucking hell, boys, we can do a lot better than this."
Yep.
We're not sure on Zdrilic, but they would have this belief that this is not really them.
No, it's not.
That we can be. They could be a lot better than this.
And
so,
you hear from the players as well. A lot of these WA boys really do take this personally.
Yeah, we
they
do.
really
Yeah.
do. And a lot of these
See
Eastern
it.
State
Rizzo,
boys, you can see
mate.
a lot
Fuck,
of these
you
Eastern
can
State
see
boys
it in
are
the second
really
half,
buying
especially.
into it. They
Yeah.
want to do well. The likes of Bozanovsky,
Yep.
Kaczarski.
Yep.
You look at them when they play and you say, shit, man, these guys want to be here. These guys want to build something here.
Which we
these
haven't
guys
been able to
want
say
this
in a long
club
time.
to succeed.
Yeah.
That's what we need from this club. But you need a coach that can back it up. Because all I see from Zdrilic is, oh, guys, we deserve to win this game, but I'm happy with a point at home against the Phoenix. Like, no, man. No.
So we're introducing a brand new segment today as well that was suggested by one of our viewers in terms of player post-match ratings.
Yep.
So some certain individuals decided to hijack it and give certain people 10s.
We've now
got a fair few responses as well.
we've now put out put out a new program that runs on all of your computers if you try to vote for our things. And if it detects that you have anything above 10% Serbian heritage, then it automatically blocks your votes.
Yo, fun. You little shit. All right, so we'll go through it. So Matt Sutton, so we aggregated all the ratings and we got an average rating from you guys and then we did our ratings. And
I'd just like to be clear on this as well. You guys can disagree with me on this
Sure.
as I say this, or agree. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Our personal ratings, I just want to say, the ratings I've given the players, not the manager, is not based on our opinions on them or based on what we think, their effort levels are. It's how they've performed in this current setup.
And
No, I want them all to
And
take
it's-
it
and
personally.
it's-
I just feel harsh,
So when I give you I've given a couple of players like 2s and 3s. I'm not saying that because I think you played you're bad at football. I don't think that. I just think the way you performed under this wasn't good.
Exactly. That's the hard thing
Product of
about these
environment
ratings
again.
as well, because we had to
Yeah.
discuss this between us. Is it,
Yeah.
are we comparing these ratings compared to the rest of the side? Are we comparing it to how they just played in this game compared to what we know they can do? Or are we comparing it to how they just played in context of the whole game of the other team
I
as
saw
well?
so much quality.
Exactly.
I
In
just
the
don't-
way
I-
he was
What
put into
we
the
mostly
setup
settled
and
on
all.
is that we're comparing the ratings of these players to how they actually played in the game
Yeah.
with the context of the other team.
And I also just think not many, if any, players deserve the higher rating when your team loses 4-0.
That's what I'm saying. You cannot. I could not give anyone above a 5.
So so
when
5,
you lose 4-0.
5 it's out of 10, 5 being the average. So we'll smash through these. So Matt Sutton, you guys as an average rating gave him a 4.
I'd say a 5.
Ours was a 3.8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Lucky Wales, your rating was 3.7. Ours was 4.
Yeah.
Josh Risdon, we all agreed on it being 3.8.
We match the fan opinions. Though.
Scott Wooten, your rating was 4.3. Ours was 5. Brian Kaltak, we agreed on this. The ratings was 1.8 out of 10. He's someone that he needs the boys to get around him because we need a big season from him.
100%.
He had a crap game in this one, but we need a strong,
But
confident
last
Brian
game,
I still have full
Kaltak.
faith in him, by the way.
Against Phoenix,
Absolutely
he had a
have full
pretty
faith.
good game.
We need a strong, confident Brian Kaltak, and I think a new coach with a better system
100%.
because a lot of players have gone to shit in this system.
because of the
It's
system,
not even
not because
funny.
of it's ridiculous.
Trent Osler, again, we agreed on this. You guys gave him a 4. We gave him a 4.
Yeah.
Reece Bozanovsky, you guys gave him a 4.2. We gave him a 5.5.
Yeah.
Brandon O'Neill, you guys gave him a 4.2. We gave him a 4.8.
Yep.
Jaden Kaczarski looked very promising until he did his
Until-
groin, and I
yeah.
hope to fuck it's not a bad one.
Yeah.
But
We
the
need
way
him against the
Jake
victory, man.
Barkadesh was implying at halftime, it didn't sound too good.
Nope.
You
Oh.
guys gave him a 4.6. We gave him a 5.3. I think he was our only outlet. and
Yeah,
then once
until
Blair
he got
came on,
injured.
we just lost any sort of
He was
thrust
the
level
only,
attack.
No mobility in that front line.
Nope.
Seb Despotovsky, I think he was a little quieter this game compared to the
He was,
last week. So
yeah.
you guys gave him a 3.7. We gave him a 4.8. Adam Taggart, graveyard shift. 3.7 you guys gave him, we gave him a 4.5. He came off because he had, this was suggested during the week, he had a heel issue that he was managing, so this was a planned sub, but I think just him not being involved in the game.
They just shut him out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like they just knew if you shut down Tackett, you don't score. That's just the tactics.
Will Franey, you guys gave him a 3.9. We gave him a 5.3.
Yeah.
Nat
I'm surprised that the fan rating was that low.
I think
because he was a sub.
I think there were lots of blanket ones.
That's fair.
To be fair, lots of people just went, fuck it, you guys aren't getting a good rating, period. Nat
enough.
Blair, this was a particularly disappointing one. You guys gave him a 2.6. We gave him a 3.5.
Which one of you gave him a 10?
I don't want to be too harsh on him, but I think this is the last year of his contract with Perth Glory. He had a go with Western Sydney Wanderers.
Yeah.
Didn't really hack it there. And he's having a go now at Perth Glory. I'm yet to see what's so amazing about Nat Blair when we've got so many strikers currently on our books.
100%, yeah.
And I think if he wants to prove me wrong and go, who the fuck is this guy saying this about me on this podcast? Well, you need to start performing. You need to start showing that you've got something about you that separates you from the rest.
100%.
Something that separates you from guys that we've got in our academy that should be getting a look and being involved in the group and trying to get a go in this team. But, I just think we need to see a little bit more from that Blair. Shabel Shamoon, he didn't really have much when he came on. So you guys gave him a 3.4, we gave him a 4.5. Callum Timmins, you guys gave him a 3.5, we gave him a 4.5. Arion Suleimani, you guys gave him a 3.3, we gave him a 4. And then David Zdrilic, you guys gave him a 2.8, we gave him a 1.3.
Yeah.
Valid. I mean, again, we're sort of rehashing over what we've said already.
All you guys gave him a 1 and I gave him a 2, right?
Why'd you give him a 2?
What was that 1 star extra? What did he do?
I think I gave him... No,
you gave him... Why'd you give him a 2?
Oh, no, I gave him a 1, didn't I? Who gave him a 2?
Who gave him a 2? I gave him a 1.
Oh, I must have given him a 2.
Yeah, you think you gave him a 2. You gave Caltech a 1, I think.
No, I gave Caltech... Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's
regardless, I think it's...
Regardless, he needs to go.
I think it's quite similar, our sort of frustrations with the people at home, and I completely respect people review bombing it and giving everyone 1s because realistically, when you lose 4-0, I don't really want to look at anyone and say, oh, no, you had a decent game. Even if they did, I don't really want to...
Don't really think it'd be fair to give anyone...
I do think it's fitting, though, that our highest-rated players were Bozanovsky and Franey. I do think that was absolutely fair. Bozanovsky, I thought, had a good game. I thought he...
I think Risdon, when he's platformed in the right environment, he could see... From his determination, there were so many 100%. Challenges to just flying into players.
I genuinely... Sorry, go on.
You're right. His that yellow card he picked up looked like a pure frustration.
Just pissed off.
Not even like... It wasn't like, oh, he went for the ball and he's unlucky to miss it. He just looked pissed.
Just wanted to mention this as well. So this was the Champions' first home game of the season at Amy Park.
Yeah.
And even though it was a little bit wet at Amy Park in terms of the weather.
You mustn't forget that the pitch is wet.
They had an attendance of 6,102. And then you compare our attendance last week, where we're supposedly one of the worst teams in the A-League. We had 8,000.
Yeah, just under 8,000.
So a shout out to all the Glory fans that have been sticking with the club. And that's the thing. And that's the message at the end of the day to Ross Pelligra. He said he did this long form interview recently where he was saying, I've still got a bit to understand about Perth itself and Perth Glory. And I'm like, well...
It would help if you're here, Ross.
It would help, but you've got such a loyal fan base that I just implore you not to piss off by enabling this circus to continue.
Yeah.
You've got a good enough squad. The investment is there.
Yeah.
We can bitch about Mirrabooka not being in a good condition, or we can bitch about this, we can bitch about that. But we've got a squad that, if it starts winning games, if it starts playing well, which we know it can, fans are going to come back to the games in even bigger numbers.
Because here's the thing as well, all right? I know last season, especially the first half of last season, we gave a lot of shit to Ross. We gave a lot of shit on investment, on this and stuff.
But in all fairness,
day by day, I look at this and I say, Ross is doing all right. Maybe it's not great. The state of the club is not great. But he's trying to bring back key sponsors. He's invested very heavily in the squad for this season. He's trying to build up new facilities in Mirrabooka. And even though the facilities are not there, even though the squad is not performing, even though the key sponsors haven't come on board yet, you can see that he's at least attempting to take steps in the right direction. Yeah. But what I can't see is how you have someone like Stan Lazaridis, right? And I got a comment about this before on my Twitter saying you can't really blame Stan. He's built a good squad. And I said, a good squad, no, because he's built a great starting 11, sure, but he hasn't done his due diligence. He's brought in players that a lot of which are injury prone or currently injured. He hasn't brought in the right fitness staff. He's stuck by Zdrilic as a coach despite a really poor last season.
Yeah.
You can't say and more importantly, he guaranteed us in preseason on Glory Stories that the squad would be 25 and not 33. And with the signing of Riley Fox that we've seen on every site apart from the Glory social media confirmed, the squad is now at 33.
Yeah.
And on top of that, last season, after all that shit we're going through, he publicly said, to a fan, we're going to win the fucker.
Next year we'll win the fucker.
That's...
And
yeah,
the verbal diarrhea from this man is just... This is the reason why we're upset with him. It's because he can't keep his mouth shut. He has to keep saying these stupid little things, making these promises, and then not following through on them. You can't do that as a director of football. You can't say, when we're a club that has been struggling for nearly 5 years now, really, really struggling since COVID times, you can't say, after we've had probably one of our worst A-League seasons ever, that, next year we'll win the fucker. We'll go from 13th to 1st. Yeah. You can't say that, especially when you stick by your coach that's not working. When you stick by a fitness, when you stick by fitness staff,
physio, medicos,
exactly.
It's problematic. So this is the thing. It comes back to my initial point of credibility. So this is the Jesus Christ. So you've got a credibility problem in your director of football. You've got a credibility problem in your head coach, and things, they just happen because of those two. It's just a domino effect from there. So I think, and then we'll talk about the victory game in a sec. But I just think, the fans have made it very, very clear that we need a new coach as a starting point.
Yeah.
If you bring in someone like Aloisi or Kisnorbo, Stan, I'm talking like if he can do that along with Ross, then that'll go a long way. But I think there are some individuals that really need to consider their influence at the club and whether it is a good thing. And I'm referring now to Jason Montempo.
Yep.
I think probably within your best interest to take a step back and stop getting too involved in things that you shouldn't be. And I think we need to really have people that understand what they're doing so that we can have proper, credible people. So that if they're saying, this is the thing, if you have someone that's credible, that's, let's say, our director of football,
Jacob Burns.
If you have Burns or someone like that, and they were saying, we're doing this, we're doing that, I would have no problem with them then going to fans and saying, hey, shut the fuck up, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because Stan can't do that currently because there's no credibility or leg for him to stand on,
I think
right?
he had some legs to stand on when he first joined the club based on who he was, and he lost all of it within 6 months.
And it's the same thing with David Zdrilic. If we have Aloisi now, who's, let's say he joins or Kisnorbo joins or Montgomery joins, if it is possible, and they join and they have a bit of a slow start, they can say, shut the fuck up, I know what I'm doing.
And we will. We'll be like, okay, all right.
We'll shut up.
Yeah.
We'll shut up because there's a credibility thing.
They
and
do.
It's like, well, they've won shit. And we need to have that credibility thing changed.
But you have to remember, we even gave Dave time.
Oh, we gave him...
He was given a shitload of time.
We gave him so much
Yeah,
time.
We started
So
going,
much
I've had
time.
enough.
We could have just said after that first MacArthur game, no, piss off, I've had enough.
But
we didn't.
the warning signs were there, and the arrogance and the naivety to keep him there, I think is just... For Ross Pelligra, I think you should be disappointed by that, by
100%.
your people.
Yeah.
So a preview of the Melbourne victory game. I think this is again. This is going to sound somewhat redundant. I think this is a big danger game.
We're going to get slaughtered
because I think Melbourne victory they got embarrassed by Newcastle. Even though it was a bit of a basketball game. I think both sides had about 17 shots each, but Jets won 5-2. And as your mate was saying to you, this could be a game where if victory go and click, and if we don't park a jumbo Dreamliner, fucking whatever, in front of the goal, in front of the shed, I think it could get a little ugly.
The thing is as well, right, is that this Melbourne victory side is not a full-strength Melbourne victory side. They're missing key players. You look at the likes of Valupale. You look at their midfield is underdone
Do
right
they get
now.
Miranda back?
Miranda, I don't know if he's back.
What's his
just yet.
situation?
Is he
injured?
I think he's injured, if I'm not mistaken. And Valupale is still recovering from his knee injury.
I think all we need to know is that Juan Mata is playing against us. That's really scary.
Here's my thing, is that Zdrilic, in my mind right now, is the interim coach. In my mind, he's already been sacked. He's the interim coach until we get someone new in. If we come out of the back end of the international break and we've not got a new coach, I don't know what to say anymore.
We should start doing podcasts if that's the case, but like not Glory pulls up, we'll just talk about other things.
Just talk about the A-League, man.
Yeah. So, do we have any thoughts and predictions for the Melbourne victory game?
Yes.
Yes,
we'll
Will.
lose 3-0.
Yes.
If Dave is still our coach.
He will be.
He will be.
He will be.
He will be.
But
So,
I agree with you.
Yeah, same. Will?
Yeah. What Josh said. I don't know. Like, what more can we really expect at this point? Like, it's regardless. It sounds like it's Manchester United. It's like it's Melbourne victory. Like they're no matter how good or how bad they perform throughout the season, it's still Melbourne victory, and they have a very good squad on paper. They have a decent manager.
They've got that aura.
Sure, okay, that's
Yeah,
cringe.
my
But,
little ass.
but like, it's like what is that? Something bomb, like radioactive bomb against coughing baby.
Oh, hydrogen bomb.
Hydrogen bomb against
Yeah.
coughing baby. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen, is it? It's gonna be a spooky night. Ooh.
Well, it is on Halloween, isn't it?
Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
shit.
spooky. Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some tactics from Dave.
Well, Dave could always rock up as himself for Halloween, to be fair.
You stole that joke.
Yeah, someone did say that yesterday.
It was a ghost.
As himself as a football manager.
Oh,
Boo! I'm a tactics board. Did I scare you? Boo!
Alex, any predictions?
Look, I will just say, to make the prediction quick, I think we will lose. I think
Yes.
it'll be comprehensive. But I do want to say, for the Glory fans at home, now more than ever, you need to stick with the club. And I know that it is frustrating, but here's the thing, is that give these next couple weeks, all right, to just stick by the club here, because it's not going to last for long. I do fully think that David's going to be gone. No, hold on, just listen to me. I do think David is going to be gone soon, okay? I think we can all agree.
Think.
Just listen. Listen to me. No.
I don't want to do that.
Stick with the club. I know it's frustrating. I know it sucks, but you've got to put up with it for now, honestly.
Yeah,
And
you don't
even-
have a
Alex,
choice.
I disagree.
No, but listen to me. Let me finish my point.
Let me land, as one
This
viewer
club
said.
is in shambles, all right? This is not the time for us to turn away and say, I've given up hope. If we do get the new manager in, you need to give them your support. And I know it sucks, because I want nothing more than to say, fuck this club, I hate it, Forza Fremantle Azzurri. But I'm not going to do that, because I love this club, all right? And as much as I give this club shit, and best believe me, I will continue to give this club shit, because I deeply love this club and want it to do well, and we don't, which sucks. But we need to...
So, Alex, no. What you're saying is the fans should stick by the club and come to the games on the hope that we get rid of Dave,
No,
because it's
I'm
eventually
saying,
coming.
I'm saying come to the game. Come to these games because you want to support your club. Don't come to these games expecting a win, because no one should come to
you
these
shouldn't
games
be giving
expecting a
them
win.
money.
Exactly, but
Like
Yeah.
you
Okay,
shouldn't be
listen,
supporting
okay,
this
okay,
stupidity.
let me-
Not only are people
Don't come-
spending their hard-earned money on
only
this,
come to this game if you want to stick by this club and support this club. Don't come to
Stick
these games
with the
expecting a win.
players. Like,
stick with the players. Don't stick with Zdrilic.
Stick
Zdrilic,
with-
in my opinion, could piss off.
Li-
Stan
like,
could piss off.
Stick
with these players.
Stick with the players, because I can't, up until that third goal that we conceded against Melbourne City,
Yeah.
even though our boys were chasing us, and chasing shadows, they were still trying.
still
to,
chasing.
You can tell they care.
They were still trying,
care.
and numbers did support that. So for as much as
Yeah.
Driller said we lost a lot of duels and a lot of second balls, the players were still trying. They were still giving it a red hot crack.
obviously
So-
I'm still going to go
least it was
next week and
7.
support my club, but I can't blame people for not going.
No,
No,
but
I don't
of course
blame
not.
them for not
I
going as well. And if
understand
they-
you have to support them, but after last week, every single fan and member should have gotten a personal phone call from either Stan or Ross apologising.
No, after this game, that's valid, because they're not going to do it after a draw. But I think this is the thing. You've got 2 games now, as Alex was saying, both at home. I mean, it'd be great if we can get good attendances for those 2 games, but we also can't blame fans if they go, well, you hiked up the ticket prices. You're playing like shit. You're not going to sack the coach, so what's the point?
Let
But
me just
stack
rephrase.
with
Let me
the
just rephrase.
goddamn players at the very least.
I in no way support anything that's going on, the current situation, keeping Zdrilic, Stan being here still, all of that. I in no way support it. However, I will continue to support this club with all my heart, because I have a desire for it to do well. I don't go to these games because I expect us to win every game. I go to these games because I want to support the players on the pitch. Because from every conversation I've had with these players, the young Perth boys to the guys from the Eastern States, you can tell that this is deeply personal to them. You can tell that they really, really care. And you can see it when they go out onto the pitch. Look, last season when you had guys like Caicedo, Kanga just strolling around on the pitch, not giving a shit, absolute bums, you could tell that they didn't care, all right? But this season, I can't point at a single one of those players and say he clearly doesn't give a shit. Because every one of them runs their asses off. They go in for those 50-50s. They're deeply apologetic when things don't go our way. And just as much, they could say, oh, well, we'll get him next time. No one says we'll get him next time. They say this shit is not good enough. We need to be better. And I can tell that they care. I go to these games because I want to support these guys that care about getting us to the next level.
But you just know that it's not going to...
I just know that it's not going to happen. But I still have that desire to see it get better. It doesn't mean that I expect it to. It doesn't mean that I expect the people at the top to be able to do it.
I would love nothing more than to have that sort of feeling that we had with games under Popper or even under Kenny. Where you could go to a game and you would know we've got a chance here. Even at times under Stadge when we were under receivership, it was like we might lose, but we've got a chance here.
We've got a chance.
And I want to look at the dugout and go, those boys are behind the gaffer, and the gaffer is behind the boys.
Just give me 2 weeks of Kenny low ball while we figure it out.
Just like under Stadge, like there was a brief period where just the vibes around the club.
That Mariners game. That Mariners
game.
No,
is it the Brisbane? The Brisbane one was
the Melbourne City game.
But we've not had one under Driller. I don't think we've had one.
Not at all.
And it's like
apart from Auckland, that's it.
It's not even. But I don't think that was even that pure.
It wasn't. It was just pure shock that we weren't losing that game.
So I think it's very clear what the club should do and what I'd anticipate the club to be doing. I won't reveal anything, but anyone that's saying that David Zdrilic's position is safe as houses is talking bollocks, because if there are definitely...
I don't think anyone's saying that.
There are people that...
If there are people that try to refute that, there have been conversations. There have been conversations behind the scenes. So, look, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There should be a change. It's not to say we'd be short on options.
No.
And if anyone says, why would anyone want to go to Perth? Well, number one, if people are saying that, they're probably from over east and don't know shit. Because I keep reading these fucking journos from over east that are going, well, I'm seeing Glory fans that are getting upset with David Zdrilic after 2 games. Isn't it a little bit early?
Shut up.
But it's like, you guys don't have a fucking clue. That's why I've got respect for Ben Smith, because at least he's seeing what the fans are saying, and he has to be somewhat impartial with the West. I understand that, but he sees what we're seeing, and he feels what we're feeling, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And
Broski's on the halftime show yesterday.
Oh fuck! I couldn't stand it. There's one Sydney boy protecting another, and the guys on the panel that just.
Here's the thing: is the reason that you see clubs like Glory, especially Glory fans, having these reactions, these visceral reactions, compared to teams like the Mariners when they were underperforming, right? The reason that you see so much frustration is
we're a big club.
We are a big club, but we know
we're the most historical club.
Yeah, exactly. But we know
one of them,
how good this team can be.
Yeah,
we saw it in the NSL days, how big the WA talent pool is. We've seen it, with the young guys that come through, that we've had some really, really good young players coming through from WA.
Yeah.
But we see time and time again that we have been let down by poor ownership, by poor coaching, by poor directing. And we know that with the right pieces in place, this club can be at the top once again.
Easily.
So when these Eastern State journos and whoever the hell say, oh, well, I don't know why Glory fans get so upset. You've been a bottom team for the last 5 years. Why are you expecting your club to be good again?
Do we not want to get out of that rot?
Exactly. But it's like we've been at the bottom for the last 5 years. Where else do we have to go? There is no relegation. There is no promised land to work our way back up to when we do get relegated. And we're stuck. We're stuck in a rut. And we have been for 5 years. But we're all still old enough. I know we're still relatively young, but we're old enough to remember those days when we were young, 10, 11, 12 years old, and we would go to these Glory games and we would see a side that would go out and play their asses
entertaining.
off. I just want to when we had players when we had players that would go on the park and put out beautiful football, the likes of Marinkovic, Castro, the likes
players,
of Keogh, the players that would go out there and die to get 3 points, the likes of Lowry, the likes of a young Risdon, Dino Julbic, Neil Kilkenny, all these cult heroes that have graced the club over the past few years. That is what we remember. That is what we grew up on, and that's what we need to get back to. That is why we are so frustrated with the way things are now. Is it unfair? Maybe. I don't think it is. Is it unrealistic? Probably, to expect a quick turnaround, but it's something that we are so desperate for because we have been starved of any type of success, of any type of matching of what this club's potential is. It's so frustrating, but we know we can get back
100%. Josh, you were going to say something?
I was just going to go back to your relegation point. Do you boys honestly think if we had relegation in the A-League, that Dave would still be in his job now?
No. Well, this is a question that I'll be posing to Stan on Tuesday night. I'll be saying, if this was any coach that, let's say it was Alan Stajic or Kenny Lowe or Richard Garcia, Zadkovic even, and you had also no prior connection to that coach, would you still have kept them on last season? Because I think any director of football that's ruthless and is able to make decisions that are calculated, that are reason-based, evidence-based, the answer surely would have been, well, no, we would not have kept David on. He's never been a head coach before. He's been a good assistant, but from the reviews that we've done, from the analyses that we've done in terms of how the sessions are designed, in terms of how he's coached the players, delivery of coaching messages, tactical presentations, and just on-game coaching, whatever, the evidence is so clear and so apparent. So I think in terms of like a final point, unless there's any others from you guys, all eyes are on Ross Pellegro.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All eyes are on Ross Pellegro. I've got a feeling, and I hope this is the case. He'll be a busy man over the next couple of weeks.
I hope so.
You've got to do the right thing. You have to do the right thing.
And if we've got to take a financial hit, bad luck. That's your fault for relying on certain individuals.
You took a risk and it didn't work.
Yeah. Sell a house and you made the money back anyway.
Well, you've got to be getting advised by better people. Let's just call a spade a spade. Get advised by better people who have a good track record and understanding of ideally Perth and Perth Glory, or just the A-League and how to run a club that can win. Because we need to be a winning club. Zdrilic has it's like an 18% win rate or something ridiculous. I think
I'm shocked it's that high.
I think he's now had 7 games where the margin has been 3 goals or more.
I think at the moment, especially, the league needs a good, strong Perth.
You need a strong Perth Glory, and that's the thing. You'd be surprised what the Wonders will do for a national competition when the side from Western Australia actually performs well. So, any other final points?
No.
Alrighty, we'll see how we go in the Melbourne Victory game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 39 of the Glory Days podcast. It's been another long one, and another long-winded episode full of rants. But what can you expect? What can you expect with the club at the state it's currently in? We got Melbourne Victory coming up in 5 days on Halloween night, so maybe we can see something incredibly scary and see a Glory side that actually remembered how to play football.
Support the Wiggles as well.
Support the Purple Wiggles, absolutely. But lads, it's been a bit of a rough episode, but hopefully things get better going through towards the international break. Probably won't, but we'll hold optimism until then. Thank you all so much for your fan comments and your continued support. Make sure you follow us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok and YouTube.
Keep commenting, keep viewing and shit.
Absolutely. And make sure you get involved in our player ratings and fan questions for next week.
Stop voting tens.
Please don't do that anymore, please.
Dickhead.
Anyways, we'll see you all next week. Until then, it's bye for now.
All right.